Hi there. Welcome to Hourglass Workshops and Conversations with Nancy and Cherryll. I'm Nancy Burns, and I'm an acupuncturist in San Jose, California.
And I'm Cherryll Seavey. I'm a writer in Los Gatos, California. Our last video, we talked about loneliness,
Mhm.
and we've gotten an overwhelmingly good response from people that have seen it. And we wanted to continue that conversation a bit more today and talk about
Right.
some practical tips about it, some other additional information, and just dive a little deeper in that. Anyway, so that's kind of what we are doing today.
Yeah. And this started from a class I took. It was called The Epidemic of Loneliness by the professor who's a doctor, was Jamie Kurtz. And it was a really, probably one of the better seminars I've ever taken. Um, and she gave a lot of statistics, but she gave a lot of tools too, um, and also made the distinction between loneliness and being alone, two very different things,
Mhm.
which we talked about last week. But Americans, she gave the statistic that 8% have no friends.
Wow.
8% of our population, and 38% have five or more friends. But a half a million people in America do not speak to any living soul for a week or more at a time, which means they are very, very much alone, either by choice or by circumstance. It happens an awful lot with older people.
Hmm.
Um, and as we age, of course, we lose spouses and friends and neighbors and our connections.
Hmm.
And so by the time we get to be old, if we don't have family or a few close friends, we are alone,
Well,
So
yeah.
what to do about it?
Well, and I think also not only, as we get older, I think that the pandemic set us all back socially.
Yeah.
We've become very accustomed to online shopping, online food purchases. Just so much of what we do is online now. And so
Uh-huh.
we even miss those casual conversations, with somebody at the grocery store or or going to the library and picking things up or whatever that might be. And we're not eating out, we're having food delivered. And
Hmm.
that further sets us apart and off to where you don't even have to talk to anybody.
Right, right. Um, so some of the things that they talked about for overcoming loneliness is one thing is admit it. And ask yourself how much of it's situational and how much of it is because of your old self talk,
Mm,
which I thought was kind of interesting. But ask yourself, have you ever thought, oh, they don't want to talk to me? Oh, they're too
right.
busy. Um, don't make assumptions about other people and what they're doing. Reach out anyway. I know that, like, we both, Cheryl and I both have kids in their 40s with young children, and they're very busy. And you know what? If I call and they don't pick up, I figure, okay, it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with me. It
Yeah.
has to do with their work or their crazy schedule with kids.
Right.
So,
And it's not hard to make the assumption, which I've done periodically. I'm going, oh, I can't give them a call right now.
I
They're
know.
busy. And,
Yeah, I've done that too,
yeah.
you know. So, and if you are a person who is very sensitive to rejection,
Hmm.
which was one of the things she talked about, it's it's not a far leap to not take that chance,
Right. Right.
to call.
Yeah, and not
But
and the ter and not right now. I can't talk to you right now does not mean no, I don't ever want to talk to you ever. But we
right,
make that weird thing in
yeah,
our brain.
assumption, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but it's us, and it's not us. They're
right.
busy, and I had to really a couple of times, because there was a while where I wasn't really talking to my son very much. He's got a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a very busy life with his career and everything, and his wife and all. And he just simply didn't have any spare time. And I had to really stop and think, okay, when I had kids that age, was I chatting it up with my mom and dad? Nope, I was not. I
Yeah.
was busy, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and I called when I needed something. Oh, my kids got spots all over them. What is it? Oh, it's just roseola. It's normal,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time, no, I was just busy,
Right.
so
Right.
don't take things
Yeah.
personally,
And
you
well, and,
know.
and the other thing that's the trap that I get into sometimes is, some of us are natural initiators, and
Mhm.
we may be natural initiators in certain areas. Like I'm pretty good about calling and saying, hey, do you want to get together for lunch or something? But I'm not necessarily a natural initiator in making a phone call,
Mhm.
and but I'm doing much better, I think, because I just recognize the importance of having good conversations, however
Right.
brief they are. And then
Yeah.
the other is, and there's some people that are not initiators. And I will take that personally. Gee, I've called them 3 times. They haven't called me back. So either that's code for I don't ever want to talk to you, or it's more along the lines of I don't call people
I've
here.
got the flu and I've been laying in bed for
Yeah.
3 weeks, or,
We never assume that. We assume,
yeah,
oh, they really don't want to
yeah.
talk to us. So yeah,
Well,
yeah.
so, ask yourself the story you're telling yourself. And if
Mhm.
you're telling yourself that all the negative things about you, get some help, join a group, joining a group is really good because especially with like cognitive therapy, because you have to slowly kind of, um, divulge what's going on with you. It makes people closer knowing that they're not the only people going through this. And I think that's really important to
Yeah,
realize that this is very common.
right,
It's not just you.
right.
Um, and sadly, I am not the center of the universe. I thought I was. Many times
Well,
I
that's
have
because
thought
I
that.
am.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got over that,
Right,
It's like,
right.
yeah, okay, well,
Yeah.
there are other people who feel like they're the center of the
Right.
universe. So,
Right. Well,
um,
and to speak to the group thing, if you join a group, a group with an activity that you like, it's like you
mhm.
really don't have to talk to somebody right away if
Yeah,
you feel uncomfortable breaking in. But you're in a walking group, I mean,
right.
and you start walking with people, and pretty soon the conversation kind of unfolds. And
Yes.
over time, and you find people that you connect with. But just the fact that you share that interest automatically gives you a common mini bond, if you will.
Well, and foster creativity. I mean, not creativity, curiosity.
Hmm.
Creativity is good too, but
Right. That's another topic.
curiosity, because when you're curious, you learn things, and
Yeah.
people have, there are people that have so much to offer out there. Nobody ever asks,
Hmm.
so be the person that asks the question.
Hmm.
It does not have to be personal.
Right.
You're out walking in the redwoods, and it's like, well, what kind of tree is that right there?
Hmm.
you know or what bird is that? Or have you ever seen an owl? I mean, any of those can foster
Right.
a conversation.
Yeah.
And just be curious.
Yeah.
And warmth um, trumps competence.
Hmm.
So
Be
being
competence,
warm,
competence in how you say something. Yeah.
yeah, having to have great authority,
Oh, right.
um, just be warm and genuine and be yourself, and you will find your people.
Yeah.
But you'll never find them sitting at home.
Right.
That's
Right.
not going to happen.
Yeah.
And if by chance you are isolated at home, then find an online community, because at least now we've got Zoom. After
Hmm.
the pandemic, that became a big thing, and most people can do it.
Right.
And there are people that are housebound. And
Hmm.
if you are housebound, reach out to people from your past, reach out to family members who may be also alone,
Right. Good
you know,
point.
foster new
Yeah.
relationships
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and work on old ones.
One of the things that you mentioned earlier and before we got on the call was the concept of time confetti.
Oh, yeah. I
I
thought that was
love
such a
that.
cute idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, she talked about we all have time confetti. And I thought, okay, what is that? She says it's sprinkles of time in between tasks that you're doing. You know, um, you run around doing your home at home. Let's say you run around doing your laundry and your vacuuming and dishes and everything. And then you have 15 minutes that you're not really doing anything. You're waiting for the drying to get done or the dishwasher or whatever. And you've got 15 minutes where you don't really have anything. What do? Do you sit down, pick up your phone or your computer and start scrolling to see all that you're missing in the world?
Mhm.
Or do you use your little sprinkles of time and pick up the phone and have an 8-minute conversation with
Yeah.
somebody? And Cherryll said, well, what about texting? Well, texting is fine when you're answering a question
Mhm.
for a quick check-in. It's not good as far as keeping in touch with
Right.
people,
Right.
you know. And it becomes, you assume that other people enjoy texting, and there's a lot of people who just don't,
Yeah.
you know.
I've found that out that a
Yeah,
quick call, and if they're not available to call, they will. Or if they can't talk, they'll either
yeah,
tell you if they answer the phone, or it'll just go to voicemail. And
yeah.
and there's nothing better. I think when I get a surprise voicemail from somebody that I haven't heard from for a while, and she
Mhm.
says, "Yeah, I'm just thinking about you. Thought I'd give you a quick call," and it just
Yeah.
warms my heart.
Well, it's because we don't think anybody ever thinks about us.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously,
yeah.
we think about other people, but do you ever contemplate the fact that somebody may think about you? And
Hmm.
if they pick up the phone, it's very flattering
Yeah.
to hear that. I was
Right.
just thinking about you. You
Right.
don't want anything, you're not asking for anything, you're just checking in to say hi,
Yeah. Yeah.
and see what you've been up to.
Yeah.
Um, so those are some simple things you can do.
Well, and another element, just to kind of before we wrap this up, that you'd mentioned is it's not exactly time confetti, but it's a quick connection tool. And if you're out and casually and you see a stranger, that just and you look at him and you go, God, that's a great purse you've got on, or wow, where did you find that, even that item, that product, that looks
Yeah,
really good, or whatever it is. But some quick compliment, some quick, I noticed you, and not in a creepy, glaring, weird
yeah,
way, but just a
yeah.
very generous, connection.
I was standing next to a man in line, and he turned around. He had on the most beautiful colored shirt. It was like a beautiful blue shirt, and it just looked so nice on him. And I said, that is such a great looking shirt on you. Not just a great looking shirt, but it was a great looking on him. It was the
Uh-huh.
right color for him. And he was so pleased. He knew I wasn't hitting on him. He just took it as a lovely compliment. He said, well, thank you,
Hmm.
you know. And that was the end of the conversation. It
Yeah.
didn't lead to anything,
Yeah.
but he felt better having heard that. And I was glad I said something.
Right. Right.
So, because I have a tendency, people think I'm terribly outgoing, and I have a tendency to be very quiet in situations where I don't know people, and I'm trying to overcome that.
Hmm.
Now, in business, I'm not that way at all
Right.
because that's my business.
Right.
But going into a group of people that I don't know, I would not be one that would walk in and start chatting everybody up. I don't even know how to do that, but I'm
Yes, you
working on
do.
it.
Yes, you do. I've been in situations where you've wandered, you've been into situations and you're much
Well, as soon
better.
as somebody says something, then I'm fine.
Right.
It's
Right.
that first little thing, but it isn't all about me, and I'm trying very hard to get over that.
Okay.
So,
Well, hopefully we've given you some ideas, some small steps you can take if you are
yeah.
feeling lonely or you are,
Or
you know,
somebody that's lonely.
yeah.
Like, for instance, I have a great aunt who lives down in Bakersfield, and her husband died years ago. She has one son who lives in the Bay Area. Her neighbors, she used to have the community of church. And she can't do that anymore because the neighbor that used to take her to church died.
Mhm.
And she's older, she's in her 80s, and she's very alone,
Mhm.
very alone. And I'm making the effort to just check in a little bit
Good.
now and then, not with any intent of doing anything,
Right.
just simply
Right.
saying hi
Good.
because I imagine she's one of those people that goes a week without speaking to
Mhm.
anyone,
Mhm.
which
Good.
I think. So if you know somebody, do something,
Yeah.
help
Reach out.
them, say
Yeah.
hi.
Yes. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed this, and we will be back again next week. So until next time, I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Nancy.
Take care now. Bye.
Bye.